Hello and welcome to TLA History, the channel for all things Year 9 history. And this term we will be learning about World War I. So let's just jump into this. So we're on week 1 overview of World War I topic. We'll have just finished session 1 introduction to World War I, and right now we should start to feel a little bit more confident to answer our key question: how did the First World War start? As always, it's important that we're confident with our vocabulary, so our key vocabulary for week 1: can you spell Archduke, conflict, allied, Ottoman, militarism, annex, nationalism, or imperialism? Can you spell them? Do you know the definition for them? Could you use these in a sentence? And do you know a synonym for them? Our SPAG starter for this week is about rhetorical questions. A rhetorical question is a question that is asked, but there's no need to reply. For example, who doesn't like chocolate? Decide whether these questions are rhetorical in green or non-rhetorical. Pause the video here and have a go. Don't be afraid to get it wrong, this is all practice. Our learning objective for lesson 2 is to explore significant events that led up to the First World War. To do a basic success criteria, you have to have secure knowledge of significance and causes of World War I. To meet the success criteria, you have to understand the small events that led up to World War I. To exceed the success criteria, you have to discuss the impacts that these events would have had and how they relate to the Great War. Lesson 2, events that led to World War I. On this slide here, I've got 6 pictures, and they all relate to how we think World War I started. Pause here and have a guess as to what you think each picture means. We'll be coming back to it at the end of the lesson to see if we've learned what these mean. So, our starter activity for today. What do you think about this phrase? A butterfly flaps its wings in the Amazonian jungle, and a subsequently storm savages half of Europe. How do you think that this relates to World War I? Causes and consequences. Every significant event has its cause. One seemingly small event can link to the next, and so on and so forth. When a series of events are significant enough, they can have a drastic and severe consequence. Can you think of any significant event in history that had a severe consequence? Pause the video here and have a write down in your journal or book about what you think. Your task for today. So I've attached a sheet on class charts that you can use. If you haven't got the sheet from class charts, either print screen it from this slide or write out the answers themselves. But using a research sheet that's been sent to you, listen to the next few slides and investigate or find out about the different events that led up to World War I. So you've got 6 different ways to learn, okay? Bosnian Crisis, alliance system, militarism, imperialism, nationalism, and the Franco-Prussian War. The Bosnian Crisis. Austria had once been a European superpower. However, during the 19th century, their power began to fade. A large but outdated army ruled over the vast Austro-Hungarian Empire, and in 1908, Austria annexed, remember that's a key word, and it means took over, Bosnia. This was partly due to the unrest in the Balkan, an area to the south of Austro-Hungary, and this would be a major cause of trouble as many Bosnians wanted to join Serbia to the east. Serbia was furious and threatened to declare war with Austria. Look at the map to the right. You can see Bosnia in orange in the north. However, because Austro-Hungary has taken over Bosnia, Bosnians are very angry and want to join with the blue country to the east, Serbia. This is the cover of the French periodical Le Petit Journal on the Bosnian Crisis. Prince Ferdinand of Bulgaria declares independence and is proclaimed Tsar, and the Austrian Emperor Franz Joseph annexes Bosnia, while the Ottoman Sultan Abdulhamid II looks on. What source is this? Is it a primary source or a secondary source? The next thing we need to research about one of the causes of World War I is imperialism. The scramble for Africa, or the partition of Africa, was the invasion, colonisation, and the annexation of African territory by European powers during the period of imperialism in the late 1800s. If you don't know what imperialism is, pause the video now and have a look. The backdrop in Africa created further tension between the major European countries and fueled rivalry, hostility, and anger. Have a look on the left. This is a map of the continent of Africa. However, you'll see that Britain, Germany, Portugal, Belgium, and France also has territory in these areas. Our next thing to research is militarism, the Naval Race. Traditionally, Britain had ruled the waves and had prided itself on having the biggest and most powerful navy in the world. However, as a young boy, Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany had visited England and marvelled at Britain's navy. he vowed to build a navy to match that of Britain's. As Wilhelm ordered the building of more ships, King George did the same, and an arms race began. Alliances. European countries had a long history of warfare and also shifting alliances. With growing tensions in Europe, two major alliances took shape. In 1882, Germany, Austria-Hungary and Italy joined together in the Triple Alliance. In 1907, Britain, France and Russia joined the Triple Entente. The alliance system meant that small conflicts would most likely lead to war between all major European countries. You'll notice that Italy is in italics, and that's because, although they did originally join the Triple Alliance, in 1915 they declared themselves neutral and then joined the Triple Entente, so they switched sides. The Franco-Prussian War. So the Franco-Prussian War was fought between France and Prussia. Prussia is the northern part of where Germany's territories used to be, between 1870 and 1871. Prussia would first fight and destroy the armies of the Emperor Napoleon, then the newly raised armies of the Third Republic. The victory of the German states created a unified German empire and brought the fall of the empire of Napoleon III of France. As part of the settlement, the French territory of Alsace-Lorraine was taken by Germany. Otto von Bismarck, as seen on the right, in 1871, united the Prussian and German principalities into a united German empire. Take a look at the picture on the top right hand corner. You'll see the Prussian soldiers have made it all the way into France near the Arc de Triomphe. Growing nationalism. During the 1800s, countries in Europe had experienced a growing sense of pride and love for their country. Germany and Italy, however, had only become unified countries after 1860. This created an environment where nations wanted to prove that their country or their people were superior or better than others around them. The results of this were that there was an increased rivalry and hostility, and that there was a greater will to go to war to protect national interests. If you think that we've gone too fast, go back through the video and pause so that you can hear each section again. Make sure you're also doing your own research, but hopefully you should be able to fill in this sheet. Hopefully you've filled in the sheet entirely, as this was your main task for today, and I'll leave you with this final question. Which of these events do you think was the most significant contributing factor to starting the First World War, and why? Could you use a few full sentences to argue your point? Thank you for watching, and make sure you check out the YouTube description for some more videos about World War I. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and click on that notification bell to receive more notifications from TLA History.